We've all been there, right? You spend a solid 20 minutes crafting the absolute perfect prompt. You add the magic words, act as a senior expert, you literally tweak every single syllable until it's flawless, and then you hit enter. And what do you get? Generic output. Again, it is so frustrating. But here's the secret that nobody really says out loud. The problem actually isn't your prompt at all. The real culprit, it's that completely blank, empty chat box you just typed it into. This brings us to part 1, starting from zero with no context or memory. See, every time you open a new conversation with an AI, it is starting completely from scratch. Zero memory, zero context. It doesn't know your name, your job, what tone you like, or anything about your current project. It's exactly like talking to a brilliant consultant on their very first day at the office. Sure, they're super capable, but they know absolutely nothing about you yet. So what do? We compensate with words, we over-explain the context in our prompt, we map out the audience, the tone, all the constraints, and then we do the exact same thing tomorrow and the day after that. Honestly, that exhausting cycle is the real problem. It's not your prompts, it's your environment. The golden rule here is that the setup you build before you even start typing matters. So much more than the actual words you type. Think about a surgeon going into an operating room. Long before the operation starts, that room is meticulously prepared. The right tools are perfectly laid out. The patient is prepped and ready. Sure, whatever the surgeon says during the procedure matters, but that's not what makes the surgery a success, right? The intense preparation is. And well, it's the exact same idea here. Setup beats eloquence. Let's look at part 2. Saved workspaces and how to stop repeating yourself. Pretty much every major AI tool out there now lets you create a saved workspace. We're talking Claude projects, ChatGPTs, custom GPTs, Gemini gems. And they all essentially work the exact same way. You configure your workspace just one time, and boom, every new chat starts with all your custom context fully loaded. Think of it like handing that new colleague one-page cheat sheet before you even sit down to talk. They get to skip all those basic annoying questions, and you get to skip the tedious re-explaining. You just hit the ground running. And guys, the difference here is definitely not subtle. A super short, simple prompt inside a well-configured environment is going to absolutely crush a long, overly clever prompt inside a blank chat every single time. Moving right along to part 3, context files and how to preload your project. So inside that workspace, you're going to add a context file. It's really just a short document that outlines your project, your personal preferences, and any constraints. You can tell it exactly what tone to use, specific words to avoid, and exactly who the audience is. The magic here is that the AI reads this document before you even send your very first message. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, without a context file, the AI is essentially just guessing about your situation based on its broad general training knowledge. But with it, the AI is reasoning from your actual specific data. Suddenly, your output gets highly specific, incredibly consistent, and way less generic. But hey, there is a bit of a catch here. You really have to keep that context file focused. Please do not just dump your entire company wiki in there. If you feed it way too much information, it forces the AI to process a ton of useless noise right alongside the actual signal. And paradoxically, your results will actually get worse, not better. A great rule of thumb is one workspace per specific use case. Having a dedicated writing workspace and a separate code review workspace is always going to give you way better results than trying to build one massive catch-all bot that tries to do absolutely everything. All right, let's wrap up with part 4, 3 hidden settings, and why you really need to enable these features. Beyond context files, there are 3 crucial settings that most people honestly just never touch, but they definitely should. First up is search mode. which actually connects the AI to the internet before it gives you an answer. Without it, the AI is stuck relying on old training data with a strict cutoff date. But with Search Enabled, you get current, up-to-date information complete with real sources. It's an absolute must for anything time sensitive. Next is adaptive thinking. This basically forces the AI to reason step by step before spitting out an answer. Yes, it's a little slower, but it is so worth it for complex tasks. It's exactly like showing your work on a high school math test. You end up catching silly mistakes that you totally miss if you just rush to the answer. If you're using Claude, for instance, just look for that thinking toggle before you start typing. And finally, file upload. This lets you hand the AI your actual real-world documents. Remember, showing always beats describing. The best part? None of these are prompt tricks. You set all of these up before you even type a single word. So, at the end of the day, the fundamental question we should be asking isn't how do I write a better prompt? Instead, the question is, what does my AI already know before I even start typing? Just take a few minutes to set up a workspace. Drop in a focus context file, turn on your search features and adaptive thinking. Only then should you type something simple. I promise you that short, simple prompt, living inside a well-configured environment, is going to do so much more heavy lifting than any beautifully crafted sentence in a blind chat ever could. Remember, setup first, prompt second. So, looking at your own workflow, how much time are you still wasting talking to a blank screen?